Most people are using Claude like a glorified Google search, and they're missing out on 90% of its power. While everyone else is asking basic questions and getting basic answers, there's a small group of users who figured out how to turn Claude into their personal AI workforce. Today, we're going to show you exactly how they do it. We've spent hundreds of hours testing Claude's capabilities, analyzing what separates casual users from power users. And we've discovered something fascinating. The difference isn't in what Claude can do, it's in how you talk to it. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact prompting techniques, workflow integrations, and advanced strategies that top professionals use to get 10 times more value from Claude than the average user. Here's what we're covering: the constitutional AI advantage that makes Claude different, the context window hack that lets you process entire books, the role-playing technique that transforms Claude into any expert you need, the XML structuring method that guarantees perfect outputs every time, plus advanced reasoning techniques, workflow automation, and the secret to building your own specialized AI assistant. Understanding Claude's constitutional AI foundation. Here's something most people don't understand about Claude that changes everything about how you should use it. Unlike other AI models that just try to sound helpful, Claude is built on constitutional AI, essentially a built-in ethical framework based on principles from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This isn't just marketing fluff. It fundamentally changes how Claude responds and why it's more reliable than competitors. When Claude refuses a request, it explains why and offers alternatives. This transparency actually makes it more useful, not less. Instead of getting a generic, "I can't help with that," you get guidance on how to reframe your questions safely and effectively. This makes Claude the most reliable AI for professional work where accuracy and ethics matter. More importantly, this ethical framework means Claude is less likely to hallucinate or make up information, which is crucial for professional applications. The massive context window strategy. While other AI models forget what you said 3 messages ago, Claude has a superpower that most people never use to its full potential. Claude can handle 200,000 tokens. That's roughly 500 pages of text in a single conversation. We tested this by uploading entire research papers, policy documents, legal contracts, and even small books to see what would happen. The results were mind-blowing. Here's the game changer. Instead of summarizing documents yourself, upload the entire thing to Claude and ask specific questions. Analyze this 50-page contract and identify potential risks in sections 3, 7, and 12. Or compare these 3 research papers and highlight where they contradict each other. But here's the advanced technique. You can upload multiple documents and ask Claude to cross-reference them. Compare this company's financial report with industry standards and identify areas of concern. This turns Claude into your personal research analyst who never gets tired and never misses details. The expert role-playing technique. The difference between amateur and professional Claude users comes down to one simple shift in how they start their conversations. Most people ask Claude generic questions like, "How do I build a website?" But power users do something completely different. They assign Claude a specific expert role with years of experience and detailed context. This technique is based on how human experts actually think and approach problems. Here's the exact formula. You are my specific role with number years of experience in specific field. My situation is detailed context. My constraints are specific limitations. Please recommend specific outcome and explain the trade-offs. For example, you are my CTO with 15 years of experience building scalable web applications. I'm starting a platform for creative writers to collaborate. My constraints are 3-week MVP timeline, minimal budget using free tiers, need to scale if successful. Recommend a tech stack and explain the technical debt I'll be taking on. This transforms Claude from a generic assistant into a specialized consultant. Try it with any profession: marketing director, financial advisor, project manager, and watch the quality of responses skyrocket. The XML structuring method. There's a hidden formatting technique that Anthropic's own engineers use to get perfect outputs from Claude every time. When you need structured, precise responses, most people just hope Claude understands what they want. But there's a specific formatting method that guarantees exactly the output you need. This technique comes directly from Anthropic's documentation and is used by their internal teams. Use XML style tags to structure your requests. Here's how it works. Write a comprehensive blog post about remote work benefits. Professional yet conversational, targeting mid-level managers. Introduction with hook. Increased productivity. Include statistics. Better work-life balance. Include examples. Cost benefits for companies, challenges and solutions. Conclusion with call to action. Use H2 headers, bullet points for key benefits. Include transition sentences between sections. This technique eliminates guesswork and ensures Claude delivers exactly what you need, formatted exactly how you want it. You can use this for code generation, content creation, analysis reports, or any structured output. The chain of thought reasoning. For complex problems, there's one phrase that makes Claude 10 times more accurate and helps you learn in the process. When facing complicated tasks, most people just dump the problem on Claude and hope for the best. But there's a specific prompting technique that forces Claude to show its work, catch its own mistakes, and teach you the reasoning process. Add think step by step or reason through this systematically to your prompts. This activates Claude's extended reasoning mode, where it breaks down complex problems methodically. For coding, debug this function step by step, explaining your reasoning at each stage and considering alternative explanations before suggesting fixes. For business analysis, analyze this market opportunity step by step, considering customer needs, competitive landscape, technical feasibility, and financial projections. This dramatically improves accuracy and helps you understand the logic behind Claude's recommendations, making you smarter in the process. The holistic problem-solving approach. Here's a critical mistake that even experienced users make that limits Claude's effectiveness. Most people focus Claude on isolated problems without considering the broader context. They'll ask about fixing a bug in one file without considering dependencies, or ask for marketing advice without mentioning their target audience or business model. This tunnel vision leads to incomplete solutions. Use the holistic review technique. When presenting a problem, always include the broader context, related systems or dependencies, constraints and requirements, and desired outcomes. For example, put on your senior developer hat and analyze this bug holistically. The issue is specific problem. I've attached all related files, including dependencies. Consider how this might affect other parts of the system and suggest not just a fix, but preventive measures. This forces Claude to consider the bigger picture and provide more comprehensive solutions that actually work in real-world scenarios. Advanced prompt chaining techniques. The most sophisticated Claude users don't just ask one question, they build entire conversation workflows that compound in value. Instead of treating each interaction as isolated, power users create prompt chains where each response builds on the previous one. This technique allows you to tackle complex projects that would be impossible with single prompts. Here's how prompt chaining works. Start with a broad analysis, then drill down into specifics. For a business project, first prompt. Analyze this market opportunity and identify the top 3 most promising approaches. Second prompt. Take approach number 2 from your analysis and create a detailed implementation plan. Third prompt. Identify the biggest risks in this implementation plan and suggest mitigation strategies. Each prompt builds on the previous response, creating a comprehensive analysis that's far more valuable than any single interaction. This technique works for coding projects, content creation, research, and strategic planning. The workflow integration strategy. The most successful Claude users aren't just chatting with it, they're building it into their actual work systems in ways that save hours every day. Claude isn't just a standalone chat interface anymore. Smart professionals are integrating it directly into their existing workflows through Slack, Notion, API connections, and custom implementations. This integration is what separates casual users from professionals who see real productivity gains. Here's the systematic integration approach. Use Claude in Slack for real-time team brainstorming, meeting summaries, and decision-making support. Connect it to Notion for transforming raw notes into organized insights, project plans, and knowledge bases. For developers, use the API to build Claude into your applications for code reviews, documentation generation, and automated testing explanations. The key is making Claude part of your existing processes, not a separate tool you have to remember to use. Set up specific workflows where Claude automatically handles routine tasks, freeing you to focus on high-value work. The Learning Acceleration Framework. Here's how to turn Claude into your personal tutor that adapts to your learning style and accelerates skill acquisition. Traditional learning methods are slow and generic, but Claude can create personalized learning experiences that adapt to your current skill level, learning preferences, and specific goals. This isn't just about asking questions. It's about building a systematic learning partnership. Use this four-step learning framework. First, ask Claude to create a detailed curriculum for your target skill. Create a 4-week curriculum for learning Python data analysis, assuming I know basic programming. Include key concepts, hands-on projects, and progress milestones. Second, use interactive learning where Claude explains concepts multiple ways until you understand. Third, implement project-based learning where Claude guides you through building real applications. Fourth, request regular code reviews and feedback sessions. This approach is far more engaging and effective than traditional tutorials because it's personalized and interactive. The Content Creation Multiplication System. Content creators who understand this technique can produce a week's worth of high-quality content in a single afternoon. Most people use Claude to write individual pieces of content, but there's a systematic approach that lets you create entire content ecosystems from a single core idea. This technique is used by successful content creators who seem to produce endless high-quality material. Here's the content multiplication system. Start with one comprehensive piece of content on your topic. Then ask Claude to transform it into different formats. Turn this blog post into a LinkedIn article, a Twitter thread, an email newsletter, and a video script outline. Next, ask for related content ideas. Based on this content, suggest 10 related topics that would interest the same audience. Finally, create supporting materials. Generate FAQ responses, social media posts, and follow-up article ideas. This approach creates a content ecosystem where each piece reinforces the others and provides multiple touchpoints with your audience. The verification and quality control process. Here's the critical mistake that separates amateur Claude users from professionals who get reliable, actionable results. According to the Stack Overflow 2024 Developer Survey, 61% of developers who use AI tools daily always verify outputs before applying them. The smartest Claude users have developed systematic approaches to ensure accuracy and reliability. They treat Claude as a collaborator, not an oracle. Follow this 3-step verification process. First, verify factual claims against trusted sources, especially for statistics, technical specifications, or current events. Second, adapt suggestions to your specific context. Claude's advice is general, but your situation is unique. Third, evolve your prompts over time based on what works. Keep a prompt library of your most effective formulations. Additionally, use Claude to verify its own work. Review your previous response for potential errors or oversights. Are there any assumptions that might not apply to my specific situation? This approach turns Claude from a simple tool into a genuine productivity multiplier that you can trust for professional work. Building custom AI assistants for specialized tasks. The future of AI productivity isn't using general-purpose tools. It's creating specialized assistants that know your specific domain, processes, and goals. While Claude is incredibly powerful as a general assistant, the real breakthrough comes when you can create specialized AI tools trained on your specific data, processes, and requirements. This is where platforms like RStern come into play, allowing you to build custom AI assistants without coding. Here's how to think about custom AI assistants. Imagine having a coding coach that knows your current skill level, understands your specific projects, and can provide tailored exercises and feedback. Or a project management assistant trained on your team's workflow, capable of predicting bottlenecks and suggesting optimizations. With platforms like RStern, you can feed your own documentation, code base, meeting notes, and processes to create AI assistants that are experts in your specific domain. This takes the general power of Claude and makes it laser-focused on your unique needs. For businesses, this means customer service bots that understand your products perfectly, or internal assistants that can answer company-specific questions instantly. These 12 techniques will completely transform how you work with Claude, turning it from a simple chatbot into a comprehensive AI workforce. But here's what we've learned from implementing these strategies. The real power comes from combining multiple techniques and building systematic workflows around them. The professionals who get the most value from Claude aren't just using one or two of these methods. They're integrating all of them into a cohesive productivity system. They're using role-playing for expertise, XML structuring for precision, prompt chaining for complex projects, and workflow integration for automation. If you want to see these techniques in action with real examples and step-by-step implementations, we've created a complete case study showing how to build an entire business workflow using Claude, from market research to content creation to customer service automation. That video breaks down exactly how to implement each technique with real prompts, real outputs, and real results that you can replicate immediately.